Everything's in place.
Oh, let's see.
Yes. Now
Oh.
start reeling them in.
Oh, it did the thing again. It did the thing again. Really? No. I don't know how to play Genshin with a mouse. Stop doing that. Oh, I see. I see how it is. Nope. I see how it is. Okay. I'm good. Hi, hello, welcome. That's better. So funny story. The controller was not plugged into a USB port. I just thought it was plugged into a USB port, but nope. Anyway, moving on. If it's 2 a.m., you should go to sleep. You should not be here. You can watch this later. Like I'm doing this because I have some things to do, and I'm procrastinating. But I also have things to do in game because I procrastinated too much on it yesterday. So here I am. I am procrastinating my procrastination. So that's fun. Guys, if it's 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., go to bed. We will get I still have a small backload of videos to finish before we get the Inazuma video. Like the history of Inazuma video. I have let's see. I've got one that's in progress right now that I just recorded stuff for today, and then I will be recording more stuff for later. And then I have 2 theory videos after that. Oh my god. I have 2 theory videos after that I need to get done, and then I can do the Inazuma video. Hopefully before 2.7 decides to show up. So we'll see. But that is on the agenda. Yeah. Ah! Goodness. Guys, go to go to bed if it's 2 a.m. Why are you here? Oh man. I don't think they're gonna skip 2.8 or 2.9 for the record. I think we're getting 2.7, 8, and 9 before 3.0. There's a few reasons for that. We haven't gotten any information about a 2.9. No, don't think that we've gotten that or anything. It's more like I think we will get 3 versions before 3.0. I think there's enough content to justify it right now. Well, not I did not phrase that well. It's not that I think there's enough content to justify it. It's that mosquitoes. No, they're evil. Where am I going? I was not paying attention. Oh, it's this thing. I went the wrong way. Yeah, okay. I wasn't paying attention. Leave me alone. Right, so I left the doors open too late. And now I've got skeeters eating my flesh. The tiny little fragile vampires they are. It's gonna be one of those evenings. I think we'll get 2.9 because I can foresee a few things that they want to do with the plot and a few things that they would like to introduce before or during Sumeru's release. So it's we kind of know what's probably gonna come with the 2.7 update. We can make some inferences because the last time we got like a whole new DLC area, which was Enkanomiya, We got Enkanomiya in one patch, and then the following patch we got an event that was centered just around Enkanomiya, right? So it's pretty logical to assume that the same thing's going to happen with the Chasm. And to me, that seems like kind of filler content. But there's also an Archon quest, and it's hard to say whether or not that Archon quest is related to Sumeru, or if it's going to be related to, like, a Dainsleif-esque Archon quest, and I kind of feel like it's more of the latter than the former. Which would mean that 2.8... 2.8, we know nothing about. Like, there's no leaked information, there's no official information, there is no nothing. So I think 2.8 is gonna be, let's see. I don't think I've ever gotten the thief mission on this spot before. What is it? We get boss, new artifact domain, and then boss again. So this patch we got artifact domain, which means next patch is looking like a boss, followed by an artifact domain, followed by another boss in 2.9. And the boss I think that's going to happen in 2.9 is Scaramouche. So that's why I think we're getting a 2.9. I don't think he'll be a 3.0 boss fight. Personally, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Where's the other one? Am I blind? I'm probably blind. Maybe I should just kill them all. Oh, no, it's over here. Never mind. I mean, I want to take all this stuff anyway. But, you know. I already got the stuff, so I don't have to worry about you guys anymore. Wait. There's another one over here. Gimme! Mine. Okay, bye. I'm going. Don't climb. Who climbs in that situation? Ugh. Really? 2.8 Ludi Harpastum. I don't think Ludi Harpastum is a summer thing. It should be a fall thing. From what I remember from the manga, it should have been more like an Oktoberfest thing, which would be in October, or like the fall. At least for the Northern Hemisphere. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of theories going around that we're gonna get a rerun of the Golden Apple Archipelago, which I think is quite a reasonable expectation. That seems like a really good summer type thing. I don't know. But that would make sense for 2.8. And it would also make sense that 2.8 would potentially have a new artifact domain. Because you wouldn't give us a new what do you call it? You wouldn't give us a new boss during something like that. Right? Right. Num 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 num. What is she even running? That seemed low even for my completely under-leveled, non-invested Kaching. Oh, wait, I know why. I think I know why. Nope, I don't know why. Oh well, whatever. It's fine. You promise not to tell your boss that you're chilling instead of working? Hey, listen, I'm not... It's not that type of work that I'm skipping out on. I'm skipping out on working on videos. You gotta report me to me, I guess. That's a thing. You could do that. Oh no, is chat my boss? That would be terrible. No offense, but I don't want to work for something that moves that fast. That sounds incredibly painful. What am I doing? All right. Good night. Watch us later if you have time. We'll be here when you wake up. Ba-dum. Oh yeah, I am gonna do that quest today. I haven't done anything except make like one condensed resin this morning, so that's a thing. I didn't start the Sumeru thing. So okay, one of the videos I'm working on, and part of the reason why I haven't started it yet is because I was gonna start it, and then the spice event got delayed, and now the spice event is back on. And it has Sumeru lore, and I'm doing a Sumeru speculation video part 2, so I want to, you know, I want to be able to use that. Wants to be able to use that stuffs. I'm gonna go over here. I want to burn my resin. Yeah. I just realized this is... There we go. That's better. I'm gonna do this. Brute force. Alright, so... Let's see. What else am I working on right now? I feel like I have so many things. I have this thing where, like, I'll start working on a video and it sounds like a really great idea. And then I'll make the script and I'll do the audio, like, I'll do the recording. And then as soon as I finish the recording, I think this is the most pointless video in the world. I should never have made this in the first place. And yeah. And then I get demoralized and I don't want to actually do the video. That happens a lot. Like, more often than you think. Oops. That's the wrong button! Crap. I'm not paying attention. Leave me alone. Yeah. Hang on. I have to move a thing and it's gonna be loud. Or maybe it's not loud, it's just gonna be a weird sound. I gotta go back in here. 'Cause I'm a dum-dum. I saw a thingy. Timothy, do you think it's more likely that Sumeru Academia knows about the primordial one and just doesn't tell people to avoid Celestia's wrath, or that they don't know about it at all? I don't know. I mean, I'd assume this. I think the Archon probably knows something. I would assume that the general, students probably don't. It would make sense to me if it kind of, like, this one dude in Watatsumi who, like, predicted there were 2 snake gods or whatever? You remember that guy? Like, he had a kind of close answer, but not quite, and he kind of got there on his own. I feel like the primordial one might be a similar thing in the Sumeru Academia. Like, they might have, like, translated some documents or found some ancient carvings or something, and they're like, it may imply that Celestia was founded by such and such forever ago. And it's kind of like a twisted version of the history that we learned in Enkanomiya. I feel like that could be a thing. I doubt anyone in there will actually know anything outright, though. All the NPCs keep telling us, don't go to Sumeru, it's really bad there, I wonder what's going on. In the Travail trailer, it specifically says, like, there's a push for folly. And folly is foolishness, which means whatever's going on there, like, they're being encouraged to do something stupid. my guess is. And it may have to do with the fact that they're being asked to pursue a topic that will get them into trouble or something similar. That's what I would guess, but I'm gonna go a little more in depth onto kind of what I think might be going on there and some additional inspiration. Do I think there's some kind of brainwashing going on in Sumeru? I don't know if I would call it brainwashing. I'll call it misdirection. I'll call it encouraged misdirection. Like, if someone's on the right path, but that path is dangerous, it would make sense to me that... Oh, man, I thought I timed that well.
Feel this ancient power.
It would make sense to me that, like, the Archon would come in and be like, no, that's not right, please try again, and then, like, take their notes. And they're like, oh, well, the Archon, who is the ultimate god of wisdom, said that I wasn't right, so I must not have been right, right? And then he goes off on a completely different direction. I could see something like that, like, what do we call it? Selective censorship. How's that? I could see that. I could see that. I agree. You probably answered it before, but what's up with Catherine? I don't know. What's up with you? No, Catherine's fun. I've seen a lot of theories. Most people seem to assume she's just a robot. I kind of like to think of her as like a surveillance system, where Catherines themselves are robots, but there's a person who's like remotely viewing them and operating them from somewhere else, which would make her just kind of like a drone or a robot or like, I don't know, some, you get the idea. I just think of someone like a Mr. Hacker Man, you know, and he's sitting in a room somewhere and it's full of computer screens and all that kind of stuff, and he's like talking to you from a million miles away, and then you move locations, and then he's still talking to you from the same location, but like it looks like he's in a different location because, oops. I don't want to do 20 runs. I don't want to. No, we're gonna go condense this really quick. I just like the idea of her being one person that's being piloted elsewhere. One person with like 7 puppet bodies. That's my idea on Catherine. Well, theoretically, the Raiden Shogun puppet is mechanical, so it would make sense for Catherine to be made with something similar. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think the Fatui and the Abyss will be in Sumeru? How involved? Sorry. Very. I mean, the thing is the Fatui and the Abyss are actually on opposite sides, which is interesting. And to be clear, by the Abyss, I don't mean the Abyss Order. That's something else. That's something else entirely. I want to go up. Up. Lift me up. Yes. Okay, slow down. No more questions for a second. There's like 4 here, and all 4 of them, just by glancing at them, I know they're gonna take me a hot minute, so give me a second here. So, as for the Abyss and Sumeru, and the Fatui. Like, the Fatui, we already know have a pretty strong foothold there because Dottore has a connection there, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see Scaramouche there if we don't get to see him in a finale for Inazuma, which I think is still a possibility. I also think it's really suspicious that we haven't had any other Harbingers introduced. So my guess is that Sumeru's gonna have to introduce at least 3 more Harbingers to us. Like, it just has to. Because there are 11 of them, and we've met 3. Well, 4. Kind of.
Can't catch me.
Why did you run? You mean little thing. Mean little thing. So I think that the Fatui are going to be really involved in Sumeru. And I think the Abyss Order is probably not going to have as heavy a presence. But they really haven't had a heavy presence anywhere. But I think the Abyss, separate from the Abyss Order, will be a really big deal in Sumeru. I think there's something going on with the Abyss and Sumeru's Archon. But that's going to take a lot of explaining, and I'm going to do it in like a whole video, so I'm not going to go into too much detail there, because I'm going to get like really sidetracked. And I would rather not. So, yep. So there's that one. There's that one. Oh, I do think we're going to witness a character death. At least one character death. It's time. And I think Sumeru will make the plot get pretty dark overall. That much I can say. With confidence. Nori Coraline. What is the technology behind Catherine or like the Raiden puppet? We don't know anything about the technology behind Catherine, and we don't actually even know if she's a robot. It's just kind of like a fandom accepted thing because she's got that keyhole in the back of her neck and they all look the same, and it sounds like she's either warping between nations or, you know, like she's just so weird that it would not really make sense for her to be a real person. But other than that, there's no evidence to suggest that she's not a real person. So if memory serves, Yai said that the technology used to create the Shogun puppet is one that's been lost or is only known by gods. All right, I'm done in here. So because of that, it's kind of hard to say what it is. Some people have speculated that it might be Chemia. Some people say it might be something else. I have almost no opinions on it right now. But I think my favorite theory about Catherine is one where she's like part of the Hexen Circle. Like she's being operated by maybe not Alice and maybe not Mona's master or Rhine-daughter, but like another one. That's a theory I really like. It's not mine, for the record. It's just one that I've seen on Twitter, and I've just like adopted it as like, yes, this is what I want. And this makes sense to me. And maybe I'll finally get around to that Hexen Circle video one day. And this is how you farm for ore without a claymore or Zhongli. Yeah. Persistence is key. So we don't know. I mean, they could be actual robots. I don't know. They could be biological robots. Or they could be, like, clones, like Albedo. Well, Albedo's not really a clone. He's a test tube baby. But, like, you know. Theoretically, if Rhine-daughter were to make another one, it would probably still look like Albedo, right? Eli, following up on Catherine being several puppet bodies in Raiden Shogun existing, how likely do you think it is for the Puppet bodies to be consistent plot device moving forward. Pretty likely, because I think that might have something to do with Paimon. Which is also an idea I don't think I can articulate very well. I need to turn this down because it's loud for me. It's probably not loud for you guys, but it's really loud for me. I honestly think it has a little bit to do with Paimon, which I know sounds kind of weird, but I still think that Paimon and the Traveler, for that matter, don't feel organic. And it's it's hard for me to put into words why I think that. They just don't feel organic to me. Like, they don't feel... Like, most of the gods and stuff are based on elemental energy, right? And we're not built on elemental energy, even though we can use a lot of it. It almost feels like we're a vessel for elemental energy instead that has some sentience, which makes me feel less organic. I don't know. It's hard to articulate, but I feel like it has something to do with Paimon, so I'm not really prepared to go into my complete thoughts on it yet. For that reason. I feel like it's just going to be an incoherent mess, but that's not new. That's like my thing. Timothy. So if Dragonspine's ley lines aren't working properly, does that mean that there's no erosion there? And could that explain why Albedo's mind is still so incredibly sharp after all these years? I'm not quite sure what that would have to do with Albedo. Erosion, as far as I can tell, is just the natural process of degradation over time. Which, to me, says that erosion has more to do with the god of time than it has to do with elemental energy. I think when we get into that whole thing about like powerful beings being more subject to erosion and stuff like that, I think it has to do more with the fact that they're long-lived than it does the fact that they're made with elemental energy, right? Because like entropy kind of works in the sense of like, wait, how do I articulate this? It's a second law of thermodynamics, right? Like, it's, everything's trying to find a state of equilibrium. So, like, if you have a glass of cold water and you put some hot water into it, the cold water will get a little bit warmer, but the warm water will get a little bit colder. And then over time, whatever warmth was in that glass will try to even out with the temperature of the room that it's in, if the room is warmer or colder, right? So if you have a cold glass of water sitting on your counter, then and it's in a warm room, over time it will exchange heat with the room until they're closer into the same temperature, because everything likes to seek entropy. I'm sorry, doesn't like to seek entropy. It likes to seek equilibrium. And for that reason, when I think of elemental beings in this game and such, it makes sense to me that someone who is built more or less out of pure energy is kind of going against the second law of thermodynamics, because they should technically be degrading over time. And if they're not degrading over time, then they're breaking a law of physics. So I think that's more what erosion is. I don't necessarily think it's something inherent to or unique to elemental energy, if that makes sense. Bob. Do you think there's any chance of Catherine being a Fatui, or at least closely related to the Tsaritsa? I mean, I think there's a possibility, because the Adventure Guild HQ is in Snetsnaya, right? I think that's a possibility. But I think it's interesting that they're two completely separate organizations, or that they're...
Brace yourself.
If they are related, I feel like it's weird that they're therefore operating as two independent organizations, right? I feel like that's a little bit odd. And it feels like the Adventurers Guild has a different mission than the Fatui. The Fatui are interesting because in the Chasm specifically, right? There's one quest you can do where some of the Fatui will tell you that their motto is, if not us, then who? And they say that while also talking about how they're here in the chasm trying to protect Liwa. Which is a weird thing to think about when you think about the Fatui, because the Fatui don't seem to be an organization that's big on protecting things. They seem more like an organization built on like domination and things like that, right?
Here we go. Time for take.
So I would liken the Adventurers Guild to like a scouting party, and the Fatui as like foot soldiers or mercenaries, right? They got different purposes. They're doing different things. But I also feel like whatever the Fatui do, it doesn't ever seem to have anything to do with domains, really. But the Adventurers Guild, if I remember correctly, is pretty interested into diving into the depths of domains and exploring them. So I feel like their information target is different. So I don't know that it really has anything to do with the Saritsa, but I feel like it could have something to do with what's going on in Shnesnaya, which could be indirectly related to her. So that's why I won't say, like... That's why I won't say no, like, right off the bat, because I don't... I feel like that's a little too far out to say at this point. We'll see. It's Shadow Raven. What do you think that A's puppets are made out of? Sugar, spice, and everything nice. Except for Scaramouche, who's made out of chili pepper. In all seriousness, I feel like I feel like they might be more biological puppets, but what strikes me about them is that it's stated that A tried to use the Gnosis as a power source, right? But the Gnosis was also intended for Scaramouche, like, as his heart. And when we think about things that are hearts, we think about things that are, like, powering us, right? And I know that your heart doesn't technically power your body, your digestive system does. It's like a whole system of interconnected things, right? But like if you're missing your heart, none of those systems function. So the real question is, what's powering Scaramouche when he doesn't have the Gnosis, right? And when I start thinking about that, I'm reminded that there's nothing that we know of powering the Shogun puppet either. So how are they operating? Because they have no technical power source that we're aware of. And so you can extend that logic to Catherine, right? I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was one energy amplifier event where we had to fight a ruin grader that was in Surumi. And what we were finding is that he was being remotely powered up by the local ley lines. And I started to think of like how Nikola Tesla at one point had said that, you know, you could have wireless electricity delivery. And then I was also reminded of the fact that electricity doesn't technically go through wires. It's technically like when you plug something in, you're actually plugging something in based on its magnetic field. And if ley lines are like pure energy sources that are everywhere and ubiquitous, then like you could technically tap into that, you know, magnetic field, so to speak, from anywhere at any time. And I just wonder if that's kind of what's powering them. And then I was like, well, if they're being powered by elemental energy, then that means A, they could be, what's the word? They could be robots like the ruin graders and guards and hunters and everything else, right? Like they could be that. Or it's possible that A managed to condense enough elemental energy into one spot and then shape it, which would make it into something kind of similar to what a god is. Right? Because they're all elemental beings, theoretically. At least A is. A should be, anyway.
Yahoo!
If she was born from a lightning strike,
Yahoo!
then she should be like an elemental being, like a thunder spirit kind of thing. So that's kind of what I'm rolling with for now. I feel like it's an artificial god, and this is part of another theory that I'll get around to it sometime. But it's just such a low priority right now because I have so many other things that I want to work on. But I have this theory that, you know, gods can create their own vessels, like Venti made this one. And we don't know if he shape-shifted or if this is like an entirely different body that he's inhabiting. And Zhongli has his exuvia, which makes me think that he can create his own body whenever he wants to. And I don't know if he has like a primary body and then he has secondary bodies that he can inhabit, or if he's like shape-shifting, or if he just like creates entirely new bodies. And if they create entirely new bodies, then it would just stand to reason that the Shogun puppet and Scaramouche specifically are, you know, exuvias of A. But I don't know. It's all speculation. I've got nothing really to back it up or make a really good case or anything. Like I got Jack, man. I got absolute Jack. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
This view reminds me of another
We'll
time
see.
it snowed. That was a long time ago.
Noah, I did the new event today and the NPC mentioned a criminal organization in Sumeru. Do you feel like they are connected to the Fatui, or are the Fatui with another name? This all got me curious. I haven't done the event today. I haven't started that event, so I don't have any context for this, but I have seen some preliminary theories floating around on Discord. And based on those theories alone, which is granted not my opinion, I would say probably not. The way that they were being described, it sounded a bit more like they were like an equivalent of the Shumatsuban. Or, you know, like a less good one. But we'll talk about this again when I go do. I have to do the event because I haven't. So that'll be something we do. Does someone want to tell me why she juts out her butt on her second normal attack? Has anyone ever noticed this? Like one, two. She just thrusts out her butt. Not even like her hip, like her whole butt. Why? Why? I haven't had Kaching for that long, okay? I've never really like looked at her animations. It just bugs me. Like a lot. Like a lot. So much. It bugs me. Okay, it bugs me a lot. Like a lot. Landon, how does becoming an Archon work? Does the god have to be a prerequisite? Because A was the sister to an Archon and Kusanali is called the god of grass. Was she that before she was knowledge? The short answer is we don't know. I was actually hoping that Inazuma would give us this answer, and I kind of feel like A being the twin of Makoto is sort of like a cop-out, honestly. But Archon, I think, just means that you're recognized as the Archon. It's a title. It's not like a... It's not like you ascend and you change form or anything. Like, when you're an Archon, you're the Archon because you're the god ruling that region and people call you that.
Let's take shelter for
In theory, an Archon should be defined by whether or not they possess a Gnosis. But in this case, A does not possess a Gnosis. Scaramouche does, which would technically make him the Electro Archon right now, which I feel like is kind of weird to think about. And yet A is being recognized as the Archon. But I feel like she's only being recognized as the Archon because she's taken over the duties of one. Like, she never went through a process. There's nothing different about her body or anything. And given that the Archon War was really like this battle royale for the 7 gods that would be left standing, I feel like Archons were supposed to be, you know, like the only god in a region.
Speed of light.
I don't like her warp thing. I feel like it should be more useful than this. And then Venti can't jump. That's fine. That's fine. Yep. Animal Archon can't jump. Too drunk. I could warp here, but also why? I just realized like I'm warping all these places and I could be milking so much more time just by walking to them. Because it's kind of brainless, but okay. Look at me failing at my procrastination. That's, yeah. I don't really want to climb this though, so I'm gonna warp. 10 drops, what are your thoughts on Hoyoverse's new game? Which one? They have 2 new games coming out. Actually, I did want to talk about this a little bit. I want to. Hoyoverse is doing some interesting things, and it's hard to. I feel like it's hard for a lot of people to see them in a positive light right now because, like, most of us are preoccupied with Genshin specifically, and we have a lot of our own grievances with the game, and so on and so forth. You know. And obviously, we're in a dead spot, which is not Hoyoverse's fault, but still, it doesn't feel nice. What I think is interesting about what MiHoYo's done is rather than taken all of their money and invest it into Genshin, they've taken a lot of the money that Genshin's earned them, and they've put it into 2 new games that I think are going to be absolute bangers. I honestly, I love both of the premises for the games that they've shown so far. So the first one is Honkai Star Rail. If you're not familiar with it, it's going to be a turn-based gacha game set in a post-Honkai 3rd world. So it's kind of like a semi-sequel to Honkai Impact, except it takes place in such a different context than Honkai does that you don't really need to know anything about it in order to, you know, get into it, which I think is really cool. But you get to go to different planets and explore different stories, and we get to learn more about gods that are even at higher levels than the Honkai or the Hershers, or even, you know, gods in Genshin, which I think is super cool. I think that'll be really nice. I'm concerned about how a turn-based gacha will work. I've played enough gacha games in my time to, you know, have kind of preferences for what I think is fun. I think it's hard to make a turn-based game into a gacha and still make it fun. At least because what they're doing is they're trying to make like a traditional JRPG style turn-based game, right? And I like the turn-based idea because it's more casual, and I feel like that widens the audience a little bit and makes it more of a casual fill-in-the-blank game. Meaning, like, it's something that, you know, you'd play on a subway or, like, for in a waiting room at a dentist's office or something like that, right? Like, I feel like Star Rail's a really good game for that, just given its format. Genshin's, I feel like, is not quite like that. I feel like it's meant to be played either just, you know, do your commissions and burn your resin for like 15 minutes and then bounce, or play for like 2-hour chunks at a time. I don't feel like there's any kind of in between there, right? It's not an easy game to just pick up and play in short bursts. Honkai Star Rail, I feel like, will be easier to do that with, just because it's turn-based. I might be a little bit biased, but I wanted to see if Venti could kill them by himself, but he can't. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, so that's Star Rail. And then Hoyoverse actually released a second, or I shouldn't say released, announced a second game. What is it? Zenless Zone Zero, is that right? The Triple Z. And that one looks interesting because it looks like it's an action-based roguelike, which would take some of the cool parts of both Honkai and Genshin, which is like the team-based combat and, the action, cool over-the-top moves and flashy gameplay and that kind of stuff. It takes all of that kind of stuff and then it marries it with roguelikes, which are generally kind of short. Like they're meant to be played in short bursts, short little randomized campaigns, which also makes it a bit more casual, which I like. I really like the aesthetic of it. I was really surprised by some of the character designs because I found myself liking a few of the character designs that, let's say, the tropes don't usually appeal to me. Like, I saw a lot of people going crazy for this kind of black-haired cat girl on Twitter. But I actually really like the pink-haired girl so far. And she's generally not the type of character that I like in these types of games. So I'm pretty impressed with their character design so far. I'm really excited for it. I don't also really like those types of games generally, but I'm going to try it out anyway. Just because the presentation is so nice. I might find that I really enjoy it, but we'll see. I'm curious about it for the most part because it is so different from everything they've done before. Like, Genshin, on the surface, doesn't feel like it has any connections to Honkai, but it has a lot of connections to Honkai. And Honkai and Gun Girls are obviously kind of heavily related. But Zenless Zone Zero seems to be like a completely new IP. And I am here for that. I think that's really, really cool. It'll be interesting if they try to connect them. I kind of hope they don't. I hope they make it its own thing. I feel like that'd be really cool. And really beneficial for them. I feel like MiHoYo having everything that they do based on one universe is kind of risky. Right? It's kind of like if Nintendo only made Mario and Yoshi games. Or Mario, Bowser, and Yoshi games. Like, they didn't make anything else. Just variations of Mario, right? I feel like that would be... Oops. I feel like that would be very difficult to deal with.
How rude.
Oh.
Here we go.
This is not a good team for this, is it? No one's leveled. No healers. They're going to be completely immune to my Hydro Slashes. Which is... Okay, yep, I know.
Let's play.
It's okay. We'll just have to go slow. It's been a long time since I've just had to fight them like this one-on-one. They have a lot of HP, don't they?
Yahoo! Don't blink.
Yep.
And step.
They have a lot of HP.
Time for takeoff.
So much. Oh my god, okay. I can't see anything.
I may have overestimated myself.
This is gonna take forever. Do they heal? Am I crazy? Are they healing?
Here we go.
Or am I just doing
Be faster.
so little damage?
With sword comes shadow.
I think I'm just doing that little damage.
Let's play.
Okay. That took so long. Why? I'm not built for this. Okay, that was a terrible idea. Let's not do that again, ever. Okay, yep. Okay, sorry. Anyway, I really like the idea that Hoyoverse is taking their money and rather than investing all of it into Genshin, which I think is a really dumb idea, I am really happy they're putting it into new IPs and to new games. I think that's smart. and I'm here for it. And I know Genshin still doesn't have an endgame mode, but like, I have never seen so many content creators like immediately say, I'm gonna try Honkai Impact than I have during this exact drought, right? And I feel like they should. I think, you know, if Genshin's not enough for you, if you need more endgame modes, God, please, please, please play Honkai. I'm not saying that to, like, excuse anything in Genshin, but, like, Honkai has so many endgame modes. It's so combat-driven. Like, if you love combat stuff, I really, 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 really think you should be playing Honkai instead of Genshin or in addition to Genshin. I really do. I think that's just smart. I would like to change my team for one that doesn't let me die. This one will work. Yeah, there's that. Oh, they're also doing like a tournament thing. I feel like that's really interesting, but Red Flame said he was going to do a video on it, so I'm going to just let him do a video on it. Because he's got some pretty... let's say, I don't want to call them unbiased opinions because that's an oxymoron, but he's very fair in his assessment of mechanics and things like that. I think that's a good way to... Oh my god, can you not step on these? I hate the rocks and like mining these rocks in Inazuma because I always end up on top of them and then I can't hit them. And it doesn't matter which Claymore character I use. Every time, I always end up on top. I don't like it. Anyway. Gabriel, I wonder if in Fontaine, Traveler will be accused of working with the Fatui because the Fatui steal a Gnosis every time and conveniently when the Traveler arrives in the country. I think there is no doubt in my mind that the Traveler will be put on trial in Fontaine. Like, that has to happen. If that doesn't happen, I don't know. I don't know what MiHoYo's doing if that doesn't happen. Like, that has to happen. We have to have a courtroom. Like, that needs to be a thing. Whether or not it's about stealing the Gnosis, who knows? Debatable. Maybe we'll have another fake Archon situation. Maybe that Archon will actually be dead, and another god will be taking its place. Or maybe the Archon was accused of something, and it says, no, you know, it's not my fault. My Gnosis was stolen, and then blame the Traveler. That could be a thing, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel like we'll end up blamed because we're being mistaken for a Fatui. I have no basis for that. I just...
Oh dear, here we go. Think you can get away?
Be still.
I think it's so much fun to juggle this lady because she's such a pain in the butt.
Pertinent fool, be gone.
Hi!
Eyes on me.
Can I? Thank you. Whee!
Winter.
Gimme, 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 gimme. Okay. I'm paying attention now. I promise. Guys, just as a heads up, if you don't tag me in chat, I tend to gloss over a lot of the stuff that happens in here. So, if you ask a question, like, repeatedly over and over again and you don't tag me in it, like, I'm not gonna see it. But also, I'm pretty behind on questions, so please hold off on questions for a bit so I can catch up, because there's, like, 12 that I can see. And it doesn't help if, you know, it really doesn't help when people spam their questions, because then I have to scroll through those and it takes longer. Especially if I answered it and then it gets asked like 10 more times while I'm answering other questions. That's not helpful. So please don't do that. If you can manage it, that would be excellent. Wee do da ba.
I'm not in the mood for this. Yeah.
Neither am I, but here we are. Yum, 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 yum. I don't want to go anywhere. I was about to say I was here first, but I wasn't. How are you not drowning?
Be still.
This body belongs to ice.
Alright, fine. Mao, since the Adventurers Guild is older than the Fatui, maybe it was founded by the original Cryo Archon. Maybe. That's possible. I don't see any reason why not. I still think my favorite theory is that it's being founded by the Hexen Circle, but, like, there's no evidence for or against it right now. Well, no solid evidence, I should say. I should say no solid evidence. Two very different things. Poppin' Angst. What would Lisa's role be in Sumeru? Oh, who knows? Lisa knows something, right? So I feel like that was the reason why she left Sumeru and why she decided to become a librarian, and also why she got so lazy. She understood some fundamental truth, and it frightened her so badly that she decided to never aspire to anything again. What's interesting about that, and what I think it might set up, is a situation where we have to solve a mystery in Sumeru, and we have no idea where to look, and no one will talk to us about certain subjects, or we can't find any books on the matter or anything, and I think Lisa will kind of serve as a catalyst for us, no pun intended, and help guide us a bit. Venti needs healing. Thank you. I feel like that might be what she does. Or something like it. I think she might end up being... See, it's so hard because, like, when we get these new areas, we should be focusing on the stories of the characters in that region. So it's really hard to then turn around and be like, oh, you know, part of the original 4 are going to be important here because they have connections here. It's like, yes, but would they overshadow the characters that are in that region? I'm not sure. That's where I'm... I don't know why I'm picking these up. I don't need them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I feel like it could go a lot of different ways. Did I have something else I was gonna go get? Or no? Did I? I can't remember. I cannot remember. 100% doesn't mean I found anything. Well, we'll go somewhere else at least. I'll go wander around Surumi, I guess. Robson, do you think the Electrovisions stopped appearing recently plot thread will relate to Scaramouche or no? I don't think so. I mean, I guess it's possible. I guess it's possible. But the thing is the Fatui didn't want any visions, really. They wanted to promote delusions, which is why they were stealing all visions. So I'm not sure why being able to stem the flow of one element wouldn't extend to other elements. You know what I mean? Like, that feels weird to me. Which is why I don't really think it has anything to do with him or Senora or Child or Arlecchino or any of the harbingers that have been said to be in Inazuma. I don't think it has anything to do with any of that. What I have been thinking on a completely unrelated topic is that there might actually be a limited number of visions total. And that the last Electro vision was given a year ago, and now there just aren't any more to grant. the idea that there are limited visions kind of helps to resolve a few of the questions that we have around who they're given to and why and when, because it does feel kind of arbitrary at times. If they're limited, that means that each vision might have like a really specific condition that needs to be filled. And when all of those conditions are filled, maybe something will happen. And I know that, like, with Kazua's friend, right? He's got a vision that he was able to activate by resonating with the ideal of his friend. And I just have to wonder if, like, visions are pieces of Fane's body. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be really cool. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I just don't think it has anything to do with the Fatui. I don't feel like we have evidence for it yet. Heavy emphasis on the yet. It's always a yet. We could always get more info, you know? Gabriel, I wonder if in case Dottore is introduced, he will have a grudge against Kusanali for being kicked out of the academy and probably be responsible for stealing her gnosis. Probably. I don't know if he'll have like a grudge, but I do think that it's very likely that Dottore will be the one to steal Kusanali's gnosis. I'll be very surprised if that's not the case. I gotta admit, Venti does pretty good damage for having level 1 talents.
Brace yourselves.
On his normal attack. He does not have level 1 talents on his skill or burst. I feel like that's a necessary clarification.
Let's play. Think you can get away?
Yep.
Observe. Break a leg.
Yum yum. I guess that was a little unnecessary. That's okay, we finished with style. Alright, gimme, 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 gimme. The happy stuff. Crispy K, what are your thoughts on what Liban told us about Sumeru? I mean, he basically just said, like, bad shit's going down, man, don't go there. And that feels like it should be expected. Every nation that we've been to has had some bad shit going down, man, don't go there. Remember Storm Terror was terroring, don't go to Mondstadt, there's a dragon afoot. I guess Liyue didn't have anything that was going down there necessarily. That one was kind of like a subplot sort of thing. Like, they found out afterwards that something bad was about to go down there. That's a slightly different case. But then even in Inazuma, we were told, man, I don't know, you shouldn't go there, man. Bad shit's going down. And then some shit did go down. I mean, I don't know. It seems pretty par for the course. Pretty expected. Nice to finally hear some confirmation on it. That it's not just everything's peaceful. That there is actually some surface tension going on. I do like that. That is nice. Gabriel, maybe Sumeru's culture could be similar to Christianity. People commemorate Christ's death. In Sumeru, they commemorate Kusanali's birth. There may be more parallels when it comes out. I really doubt it's going to be a Christianity one.
I'll simply send someone to fetch it.
There's so much evidence right now for Sumeru being based on the Persian Empire that it's not even funny. Like, they're basically telling us outright at this point. I see no reason why anything there would be Christianized. That seems something that would be more likely for Fontaine. Just because of the region that it's supposed to represent and stuff. I feel like that is slightly more realistic. But even then, it makes the most sense for Snezhnaya. because, well, there's some really complicated history about the Slavs, about Slavic culture and such, but a lot of it was heavily heavily influenced by very, 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 very heavily influenced by Christianity, and a lot of their core culture that they had prior to that got erased. They point that way. Why? What would be this way? Oh, interesting. I wonder if they all do that. Time to find out. Time to find out. Let's go wander. So I think it's pretty unlikely. Just especially given the time period that it appears to be based, that Sumer appears to be based on. Yeah. Mira, do you think we could see Miss Hina in a real form, e.g. Goro cosplaying or something similar to the Raiden Shogun puppet? No, I don't think so. I think she's just a running gag. I don't think they're actually going to do anything proper with her. Yeah. I think that's kind of the whole point of her. Like, Goro is like half the height. I don't think he could really cosplay as her effectively. Like, or convincingly, rather. Because, like, he's not even the same height as the cutout. And the cutout's not even, like, full size. I feel like people would kind of catch on at that point. But, I don't know. Maybe I'm overestimating a game world. That's never happened before, she says unconvincingly.
Power that ended High John. Yahoo!
Be still.
Mine. I don't need these. I don't know why I'm farming them. Gracie, in your personal opinion, who would you like to see lead us to Sumeru? I think Lisa, Baiju, Sino, or Collab are most likely. Who would you like to see? Collab, 100%. Mostly because I think Collab will have a Dendro vision, and Collab makes the most sense in being our free Dendro unit. I know a lot of people have suggested Yao Yao. I still think Collab makes way more sense. She's, how to say, like, she has history with Amber. She'll have grown up a bit. She could have had her vision come to her, like, in, you know, the time that they were apart. I think that would be a neat kind of thing to see. Yeah, so 100% Collab. I'd much rather see her than anyone else. Also, I think she'd be a really cool catalyst character, which seems to be a big thing with Dendro, which would imply that the Archon of that area would also use a catalyst. Now, see, this one's going in a completely different direction. Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's what I thought. Okay, well, I tried. It's fine. Zlinop, I don't know if you already asked this, but what kind of crossover content do you think would fit Genshin? I don't like crossovers. Like, I don't mind in-universe crossovers. Honestly, I think it'd be really neat to see Honkai Impact crossovers into here or something like that, just because it's a neat callback, and they've already done Genshin crossovers in Honkai. So, you know, it's fitting. But I don't like crossovers in general. So I don't really want to do them. I just realized I didn't do my commissions this week, so maybe we should go do that. let's go do that. I feel like Kaya today. Wild Speaker. Hello, I discovered your channel like a week ago and take 4 days to watch all your videos. Amazing content. Thank you. I also have a question. What do you think about the fossils in the chasm? I think there was a mass extinction. I still think the bishops are kind of like dinosaurs. They're just big magic Genshin dinos, right? And I kind of like that as a theme because the chasm sort of implies that it's like an impact zone for a meteor, which is similar to like the Gulf of Mexico, what they think happened there. Well, I think they know that that's what happened there. Like there was a meteor impact. They just don't know if it was the meteor impact that wiped out the dinosaurs. I think it's something like that, honestly, which I think is really, really cool. I really, really like the idea of kind of mixing mythologies, mixing the science of evolution and the dinosaurs and everything with a god that comes and creates humans in an image that they think is fitting. I like that mix. I think that makes for a very interesting world building experience. So yeah, that's my thoughts on those fossils. It does look like some of them do look like trilobites, and then someone pointed out that a few of them look like small bishops, and I was like, "Wait, really?" Because I didn't really pay attention to them. I thought they were just going to reuse textures, but yeah, there are some there that look exactly like bishops, and then some that look like really huge trilobites. So I do think that that's supposed to be what they're representing. Again, I think is really cool. I don't think I can fly this whole distance. Sick dude, do you think there's a reason that the wishing background resembles the Spiral Abyss name card, or is it just a coincidence? I can tell there's a video of mine that you haven't seen. I don't think it's just a coincidence. I highly recommend you check out, I have a whole series, a mini series that's like 4 videos long on the world structure of Genshin. I think you'll find that very interesting because that is one of my key points.
Freeze! Don't get frostbite.
Dun, 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 dun.
Rain outlines your fate. Know my
I can't tell if my artifacts are all screwed up or like... Oh, there we go. They're not screwed up. The guy's just like really tanky.
Dodge this.
I don't want them to heal.
The wind knows me.
There we go. I was very confused for a second why he wasn't doing much damage, and that bothered me. Lunary Dawn. Do you think Tears of Famous current event Egyptian theme could be a preview in some way of Sumeru? I don't know anything about Tears of Themis, so I actually can't comment at all. Sorry.
What's the hurry?
I'd like to be able to say something more sensible, but I can't.
Cool it.
Hmm.
Wind and cloud. Oh, so sorry.
I.
Dodge this.
Oh, uh-oh. I always think I'm safe, and then I'm not. They're so mean.
The birds freeze.
This is still my least favorite bounty. Because I always end up fighting him in the water, and I always get zapped to death. And there's probably an easier way to do it, but I don't care. Do not care. Lunar is streaming, so if a vision owner dies, the vision should still hold the original element it had if they are limited per element. So Ningguang's vision was originally Geo before she reawakened it. I mean, in theory, yeah. But we kind of can confirm that because well, I guess we can't really confirm that because we don't technically know what element Toma's, or not Toma, Kazua's friend's vision was before he died. I don't think we know that. But I would assume that they don't change elements. I've just always assumed that they wouldn't change elements. Poor Yuri, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Holy shit. I was not expecting that. Hey, Ashika, please tell me I'm insane for pursuing a master's degree, even if I need it for a CPA. I feel like more schooling shouldn't make so much sense. Anyways, love the video as always. My only suggestion is more dog content. Oh, they're outside because it's like 80 degrees today, and it's cold outside, cooler outside right now, and very warm in my house. Because I don't have AC because I'm a psycho. You know, I feel like if it's required, then you get the degree not because you're trying to learn more things. You get it so that you have the certification for it. Generally, when someone's going for a master's degree or a bachelor's degree or anything else, and I am by no means an expert or someone who should be consulted about such things, like, ever. But in my opinion, the first thing I'll always tell people is, does your desired profession require a degree? And does it require a degree from a specific place? And the reason why I ask those questions is because ultimately, companies these days, at least in the US, care a little bit more about the fact that you have a degree and less about where you got it from. For the vast majority of jobs. And I did used to work in an accounting firm for a few years. I worked for I worked for a company that is now called Plant Moran, but I don't work there anymore, so I don't mind telling you guys that. But it's a fairly large company, and I feel like you learn so much just by being in the company that everything that they teach you in school is almost worthless past the basics, because every company is going to be very different in terms of like their processes and executions and everything else. As for a master's degree, I don't think you technically need that for a CPA unless you're intending to get very specific certifications or unless you need to work in a really specific company and a certain position. Like, I don't think you can get it into management levels without a master's degree, but I'm pretty sure that we had a lot of accountants working with some really big name clients who never pursued their masters. But again, if you just want masters for the sake of masters, so that you can be a public accountant and do everything that you want to do, like, you'll make good money at it, man. And it's just, at this point, it's just an investment. It's not even like, I don't know. I think if I had to do my schooling over again, I would not even go to college. Because my field, which is programming right now, is something that is so portfolio based that I would have been better off taking online certification courses for like PHP and JavaScript and everything else, right? And then just building things to make a portfolio. That would have suited me a lot better, and I would have been able to make progress faster. In my case, my degree didn't help me much. In your case, depending on the track you want to go on, it'll probably help you quite a bit. Since you're so clear on what you want to do, so I ain't gonna call you crazy, even though I think going to college in general is a little bit crazy, but you don't get anywhere in life without being a little bit crazy. You gotta be a little crazy, okay? A little crazy is good. Little crazy is good. Turn in this thing. Anyway, I'm wishing you the best on your master's degree. Those courses are brutal. Those courses are absolutely brutal. So hopefully this semester is going well for you, and I hope you don't have any summer courses. I hope you get some time off. That'd be awesome. I want to take time off. Not for video making, but like just in general, I want to take some time off. We've had such like a super cold spring, and then it decided to get really, really, really warm and really hot all of a sudden, and sunny and not rainy anymore. And so now all my plants have exploded, and I'm not prepared. They should have taken like another couple of weeks, and I'm like, why? So it's fun. Whee! That's never gonna make me laugh. That will never not make me laugh. No. Why would you push me out of my circle?
Dodge this.
Ooh-doo. He's immune to hydro, right? Yeah, he's immune to hydro. Nothing feels worse than missing crits in this game. Absolutely nothing feels worse than missing crits in this game. Hirith, is there any tiny sliver of a possibility Kaya might be the prince in the battle pass? There is a tiny sliver of a possibility. It's not that big, but I mean, it's there. Hey, I don't think it's likely, but I do think it's a distinct possibility. Such a long wind-up sequence. Hi, Treebot.
Let me weave you a verse.
Feed me, please. Num, 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 num. Arwen, personally, how do you think people get their vision element? Is it random or based on their ambitions, or is it their personality? I actually think it has to do with talent books. What am I doing? I was looking for talent books. And I never remember where they are. So here's the thing. Every nation has 3 of these, right? So this is leeways. We've got gold, diligence, prosperity. I know Zhongli is supposed to be the archon of contracts, but gold, diligence, and prosperity are like 3 words that describe him incredibly well. Prosperity because that's always been his main focus. Gold because he's considered the god of Geo. His color scheme is gold. He invented, well, not invented, but he's apparently responsible for the minting of Mora, which is gold. It's the golden house is his symbol, etc., 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 right? Like gold is like his thing. And then diligence is just something that Zhongli is. He's very, very diligent. And then we've got philosophies of freedom, resistance, and ballads. And if that doesn't describe Venti, I don't know what does. Venti has helped with multiple resistances over the years. His ideal is freedom, and he's a bard, and he sings a lot of ballads. So that also makes sense. And then we get to Inazuma. We've got transience, elegance, and light. And all 3 of those really reflect A and Makoto. Now, worth noting that you've got someone like Kazuha, right? And Kazuha is Animo. And while he's not from Mondstadt, he does fall under these categories, at least for the first 2. He falls under freedom and he falls under resistance. He's a very, very free spirit. He likes to wander. He likes to be free to choose all that kind of stuff. And he was fighting in a resistance, and he resisted the Vision Hunt decree and all of that kind of stuff. He's been doing his good stuff there. I don't know so much about ballads, but he is a poet, so that works for me. Even when it comes to Sayu, you can say like, well, she wants to be free to take naps whenever she wants to, that kind of stuff. I know she doesn't really fit ballad very well, but there you go. And for Xiao, you know, resistance is definitely his there. For Geo, diligence a lot of the time. Diligence is what it is, like, especially for Noelle. Prosperity and gold for Ningguang. I think that applies really well. For Goro, again, diligence, definitely. For Ito, I honestly don't know. Like, that's the one that I'm kind of like, I'm not sure about that one. But Electro with elegance, transience, and light, I'd look at Beto and be like, yeah, transience. You can argue light or elegance for official. You get the idea. I think it's more to do with these ideals than anything else, but I don't have any additional things to back that up with. So there's that. Nepco, I am not knowledgeable in lore. Do we know what made all of those big holes in Chasm up to the boss? And if you try climbing them, Paimon says Paimon is tired. Can we go back but doesn't stop us? I don't think we know for sure, but I was pretty sure that like the snake made a lot of the tunnels in the tunnel area, and then a good chunk of the chasm could have been formed by the nail, the celestial nail that fell and then drilled down into a specific spot. And then the miners specifically say that that first main chasm and a lot of the side tunnels were tunnels that they dug. So there's that. I don't know if there's like a specific one going upwards that you're talking about. But as far as most of the tunnels and like the holes upwards, I would assume that the Robo Snake made some of them. Some of them are probably just natural tunnels that have been formed due to either mining from the top side or just like, you know, the ceiling collapsing because people are mining underneath it and they don't mine correctly, and then the sky crumbles. That could be a thing, but I'm not sure. I will say that some of the holes seem like the ones that Paimon says we can't go up. I do wonder if those are actually in Sumeru, and that's why we're not allowed to go up them yet, and if they will be like alternate paths at some point. That seems like it could be a thing. For sure. For sure. Junji Yang, thanks for the super chat. I enjoy your world building series a lot. Will there be follow-ups on the theories, assumptions therein since we have more info now? Yes, but probably not for a while. There's been a lot of information that's been dropped, and I feel like retconning a lot of those videos is like a really big task that I just don't have the resources to put into right now. And I don't know that while a lot of the new information is helpful, I don't know that much of it goes against anything that I put in those videos. And I don't quite have enough to make a whole sequel follow-up thing. So I think I'm just in collecting mode for now, and I'll make one eventually when I think we have enough. I feel like we'll probably... I have this weird feeling that we're going to learn a little bit more in 2.7 about the world structure. that might change things for me, so I kind of want to hold off on that. But I don't think I'll make another world structure video until there's like something that really shakes up one of the theories that I had, for good or for ill. That's when I'll do it. Yeah, thank you for that. Lunary Dawn, do you think Sino will be the one to lead us into and through Sumeru in the same way Amber, Zhangli, Yamfei, Yoimiya? No. I think I already answered this. First off, if you heard Sino would be Pirro, don't listen to them. They're basing it off of a gem that's on his belt, and that gem is not a vision. If you stop the Travail trailer on the right frame, you can actually see that it's got like a gold dot in the middle of it, and it's just a decorative gem. It's not actually his vision. I think Sino and Collab together will bring us through Sumeru, but I think Collab will be the one to bring us into Sumeru. That makes sense. I also think it's more likely that Sino will be Geo than anything else. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We're going to need to get a lot of Dendro characters when Dendro finally comes out, because we have 0 and they need to catch up. So they need to release at least 3 to start with, and they're going to need to release like another 3 within the next couple of patches after they release it in order for it to catch up. So I feel like we'll get a lot of Dendro units, and so it's very possible that he'll end up Dendro as well. Waka Waka, am I the only one who thinks that when Lumine refers to restoring the homeland, she's just talking about Conria? The BP cutscene says the first crown got corrupted by the abyss. No, we almost got explicit confirmation of that.
Time to go. Cool it.
You might be interested in my Curse of Conria video. I don't know if you've watched that one. I will assume probably not, because I talked a lot about what the homeland is and some references to it. You might enjoy that. So I recommend it. I feel weird to recommend my own stuff. It feels very strange. I feel like I should be like making a reading list and instead pointing you to some other videos and other channels and stuff. But as far as I know, I think only Tevat Historia has attempted another homeland theory. But he did it before the Chasm, and I don't know if his opinions have changed. So I don't know if that'll be in line with what you're looking for. Stephen Kelly, what is a snake boss in the Chasm? Well, it's a robot. It's just a really big robot. It's a robot snake. Interestingly, the name of that snake is in the files, from what I've heard, is Nidhogg, which was a dragon from Norse mythology that chewed on the roots of the world tree. I thought that's really interesting because he digs up this nasty black mud that's actually like this corrupted ley line goop kind of stuff. And if ley lines travel through the roots of trees, then that's just really on theme. I think they have a missed opportunity to actually call him Nidhogg in as on the surface and not just in the file name. But it's just a ruined enemy, just like any other. I don't think there's anything particularly special about it. Josh Fields, hello. I was wondering if there's any idea on if the game explains how you can change characters and do the wishes. Do you mean like a starter guide to Genshin? And there's lots of them. I've seen some pretty good starter guides in recent memory on both Raxophone and Sekapoko's YouTube channel, if you're interested in those. Those are the ones that come to mind first. I'm not sure if anyone has done any of those in a while. I feel like I can't remember which one, but one of them did an updated guide. One of them did an updated first-time player guide. A little short while back, but a while back. I just can't remember which one. Landon, do you have any idea why in-game there's no one from Natlin? Because Inazuma makes sense because isolation, but why Natlin? First off, Natlin's like one of the last regions we're gonna go to, so I don't know that they've done a whole lot of fleshing out with it. I feel like they've done a lot of fleshing out with Snezhnaya because, well, we come from there, and so they had to, because they've got to, you know, kind of play up the plot of it. But Natlin might actually be a closed-off nation for not the same reasons that Inazuma was, but, you know, for reasons. I think that's very, very possible. Yeah, I think that's possible. Gosh, Greninja, who is your favorite 4-star character? Well, you looking at him, buddy. This is my boy. My favorite 4-star. Hands down. He's my pride and joy. I have triple crowned him, and we love him very much. Oh, well, hello, Levi. Welcome. You decided to come in. Hang on. I'll be right back. He opened the door on his own because he's smart. And now I have to close it, or else I'm going to get eaten by mosquitoes.
I didn't know you were such a slacker.
He's adorable. I don't know if you can hear that, but he's now drinking all of the water in the house because he does that. Joaquin. Hey, so how come that one of the Traveler's Idol animation shows the same constellation type thingy as Paimon when floating around, also with the nail in the chasm? I was not watching where I was going. Oh boy. I gotta run. He's so loud. He's so loud. I gotta wait. It's the most distracting thing. Okay, there's a good boy. Whee! Okay. The short answer is I don't know. The long answer is it's possible that they come from the same time period. I'm actually quite convinced, and I know I'm alone in this. I'm quite convinced that the Traveler and their sibling are actually from Teyvat, or at least whatever planet Teyvat is, and that they may in fact be part of the Primordial One's original entourage. I'm not saying that they're the Shades or anything, but I just think that it's very possible that they were, how to say, I don't want to call them Sealies, but I want to say that they were from that first generation after the Shades. And they were told to escape, and then they did, and then they flew around the galaxy, and they ended up back in Teyvat, and then they didn't know that this was the place that they were from, because so many years have passed that they don't recognize it. And I also think that Paimon is something kind of similar, where she just, you know, doesn't, like, it sounds weird because she doesn't really talk about herself at all. And so we don't actually know if she doesn't remember anything, or if she's just faking it, or if she's just not talking about it. But I think that they're both from the same era in Tevat, and I think that's part of why they have the same little constellation thingy. And I think it's further supported, I guess, by the fact that the celestial nails also have the constellation, and so do a lot of light actuators. I want all your fishy. My fishies now. Let's see, actually, where is that light actuator? If I were a light actuator, where would I be? I think I'd be over here, I'm pretty sure. Testing my memories. Yeah, it's over here. I think. Pretty sure. Is it? Is it this one? Is it this one? I think I can go to the one in Storm Terror's lair if it's if you can't see it here. We'll see. Hold on a minute. We'll get to doing the thing in a minute. Woo! Alrighty. See? We've got golden constellations. They're not blue constellations, but we've got gold ones floating up the light actuators. And since these are like old as hell, although technically this one was put here by a Yaksha. Which is like a whole different thing. But anyway, the point is that because these are old as hell, at least 4,000 years, if not more, it's just more evidence to me that Paimon and the Traveler and everything are all from the same original civilization. And the Spiral Abyss too, because if you go to floor 12, the Spiral Abyss actually has like constellations floating up from the floor, just like the Traveler does. So there's that. Parm, what do you think the 8th element will be if we get one? I don't think we're getting one. I feel like we're going to have light and dark elements in Genshin. I just don't think they're going to be playable. I feel like if we... Okay, so if we get 8th elements, I think we're getting a 9th element. I think we'll get 2. And I think it'll be light. It'll either be light and a lack of light, or it'll be light and darkness. It'll be one of those two things. But I think what'll happen is, like, it's going to be one of those combo things. Like, if you use a certain number of characters or you use a certain number of reactions, you can, like, trigger a light reaction or something. So it's not, like, actually a element that you can use in the traditional sense, but it's, like, a combo reaction, an advanced reaction. How does that sound? That's what I think. I don't think they can really do a whole lot more with the system that they have. I mean, they're already having a hard time with Dendro, you know. Lunaris, do you think we'll get a visionless playable character, maybe using elemental potions like the treasure hoarders? Technically, none of the Archons have visions, so we've already got 3. And neither of them are using Gnosis either. They're just using their raw elemental energy, and then the visions, quote unquote, that they have on them are just baubles. I mean, the Shogun puppet doesn't even have a fake vision. Like, she's not wearing one. She's not wearing one, but
No, my sword. Body and mind.
Dodge this.
Zhongli also isn't wearing one. Well, he's wearing a fake vision, but like it's not a real vision. Like, he's not using it. You know what I mean? So we've got those already. But I feel like every character we're going to get is going to have some kind of vision or delusion or something similar to it that will serve the same purpose. So I guess the short answer is no, I don't think so. Because even if we get Dottore, who definitely doesn't have a vision, he'll have a delusion, you know, and it'll just function in place of the vision. So I don't think we're going to get that. Esoteric. What are your thoughts on the theory that Baizu is a true Dendro Archon? No. That's the entirety of my thoughts. Like I'd love to be able to provide some sort of I'd love to humor the argument, but I just can't. Right? Like I just can't. None of it really makes sense when you stop to think about it. And I feel like the only reason why anyone thinks Baizu is a real Dendro Archon anyway is because A, Zhongli apparently doesn't know him, and B, he's the only Dendro character in the game and he's just not playable yet. I feel like that's the only reason why anyone even assumes that Baizu is a Dendro Archon. And I don't feel like that's enough. At all. I just don't think that's enough to go on. Like, yes, he's got a design that's similar to Shiva. I don't think that means anything either in terms of whether or not he's an Archon. And I have a very different idea on what they're trying to do with him. The legends that he's based on are, well, they're different. They're just different than the inspiration used for Sumeru. Like, everything about Baizu is incredibly Chinese. Everything is incredibly Chinese, which doesn't fit for a Sumeru Archon. Like, the legends that he's based on are very Chinese. His name is based on a Chinese herb. A lot of the things, like, I don't know, like, everything he does is just so very, very, very Chinese. I can't make him work for Persia or Egypt or, you know, anywhere in the Middle East or, you know, even Greece. I can't even make him work for Greece, which would have had connections to Persia, which is why, yeah, anyway. So, no. The one theory that I am not even, like, even remotely receptive to is Baizu is the Dendro Archon. Like, I need some really damning evidence for that one. And I just haven't seen it. Again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's cool. But, yeah, I don't think so. Not this time. Not this time. I'm wrong a lot, but not about this, I don't think. But we'll see. Time will tell. We'll find out. Soon enough. We'll find out this year. We'll find out this year. I didn't have this viewpoint. I am a terrible explorer. Taki K. Can Enkanomiya technically be considered a whole nation? Yes? I mean, kind of? In theory, it was part of what is today Inazuma. So, I mean, take that as you will, you know? Take that as you will. I don't need Mora, but, like, it's so satisfying. What weapon do I have on Ayato, please? I have a black sword. Where is it? I has this on Ayato. This is his kit. He's running Forglad and black sword with a hydro cup, obviously. Yep. That's that one. That's my dude. That's my Aya dude.
What's the hurry?
My Ayatode. That's what you get when you mix a dude with an Ayato. You get an Ayatode. Okay, that's a bad joke. It's not even a joke. Miss 9 p.m. Hi, there is a Kaya's dialogue that talks about the Owl of Dragonspine. Is it a place or statue or something? I don't have a clue about it. Are you talking about this owl? Dun dun dun. There's my owl face. See him? See him? Isn't he pretty? He's pretty. Owl. Yeah. Okay, so the Owl of Dragonspine is like this whole other thing. I know a lot of people got theories on it. I don't have a theory on it, actually. I think Kaya's funny because he talks in riddles. And I quite like his riddles because I always find out what they mean like way later. And then I'm surprised by them. But I think in this case he's I don't know that he's talking about like a literal owl. I almost wonder if he's talking about Albedo half the time. Because Albedo's white and he's wise and he lives in a snowy mountain. You know, like I think about that from time to time. And I don't know. I know someone who has like a theory that the Owls of Dragonspine were like a very wise kind of organization. But I still think that Kaya's probably just referring to Albedo when he says that. And he's being weirdly cryptic because he does that. But I don't have anything really concrete for you on that. Yeah.
Really quite tame.
Spirit Chaser, random thought, but what if the Sustainer is corrupted like the waypoints on statues of 7? I mean, yeah, that's possible. She looks pretty corrupted. Look, it's a Dendro reaction. Y'all think I'm kidding. I'm calling it now. That's going to be our Electro Dendro reaction. We're going to get particles. All this time, Dendro's already been in the game, and we just didn't know it.
Time to go.
Seth, was the Seelie Kingdom before Fanes? We don't know. There are two distinct possibilities. One is that the Seelies were part of the Moon Sister dynasty? I don't know what else to call it. Era. Let's call it an era. One is that the Seelies were part of the Moon Sister era. And they came before Fanes, and Fanes destroyed the Moon Sisters and then destroyed all the bishops. That could have been a thing. Alternatively, because that theory kind of works on the assumption that humans didn't exist on Tevat, because Fanes really wanted to create humans, and we know that Seelies acted as a guide for humans, so that's kind of weird. But alternatively, the Moon Sisters could have been 3 of the 4 shades of the Primordial One, and the Seelies would have been the envoys meant to guide humans, which I think is the more logical assumption overall. Am I gonna try Zenless Zone Zero? I mean, I signed up for the beta. We'll see if I get in, but there was 1 million signups, so I don't know, man. Those odds seem real slim. It's gonna be a while before it comes out, before I can actually like just try it straight up. So, River, what do you think of Senora's death? I think she's definitely coming back, and her themes of moths and rebirth. How do you think it's gonna happen? I made a whole video on it. I did. And basically what it boiled down to was Senora was never meant to be playable in the form she's in. And she was always meant to be killed off as an enemy. And that if she does come back, it won't be as Senora, it'll be as Rosalind. Which will kind of wipe her clean. I don't think people will be happy about it, but that's what I think is going to happen.
Test subject.
Captain Danger, why does Baizu have a talking snake and why can she talk? Stay with me for a couple of weeks and we'll come back to that. What makes you think Baizu is his real name? Zhongli Morak situation. Because A, I think Zhongli actually is his real name. Because of the whole Guili situation, the Li in his name is the same as the one used in Guili, which was made from the characters of their names at the time. So I feel like going by Zhongli would make sense. Especially since it's a different zhang than Guizhang, so it's not like he just took half of her name and slapped it on half of his name in like a reverse Guili situation. I don't think he did that. I think Baizu is his name, his real name, mostly because of the myths he's based off of. He's based off of the tale of the white snake, and also the tale of the... How long has this been here? All right, then. Hi.
Let's light it up.
Falling leaves adorn my.
No, my sword.
So, like, this is a thing.
Fascinating.
I hate the fact that I'm at AR-59 and I'm finding these friggin' things. So upset. I can't damage it when it's underground.
Dodge this. Wind strider.
Anyway, he's based on the tale of the white snake, which is a very, very, very Chinese thing. And that tale is a story. It's a love story about a white snake demon and a pharmacist. And the pharmacist basically dies due to some weirdness that we won't go into right now in the interest of time. And Levi, don't sit there. Don't sit there. Can you... Wish you would not do that. Thank you. So the pharmacist dies, and then the white demon snake is like, oh no, my husband died. And so she goes off on this adventure and gets a magic medicine powder to bring him back and resurrect him, which eventually makes him somewhat immortal. Something to that degree. So and then there's also the legend of the white snake and the green snake, which is also very similar to a lot of the stuff going on with Baiju. So there's no Persian influences in him. Like there's none. Everything is Chinese. So I'm not willing to believe a Baizu is the Dendro Archon theory. It makes no sense to me. And again, maybe I'll be wrong. We'll find out. But right now, I don't think I am. Ashker Ninja, have you ever thought about doing a collab video? I have a few people in mind. Chill with Aster, Clementine, Red Flame, Tevat Shinari, Tevat Historia. I mean, yeah, we have a Discord server for a lot of the lore content creators. Everyone that we find, we take them in, and we've got this little space where we talk about stuff like that. But the reality is, when it comes to lore content, what makes it a little bit different from other types of Genshin content is that it's really hard to collaborate on ideas without one person taking over for the other, right? It's very, very difficult to do something like that. And also, these videos take a lot of time to produce, to research, to have the idea, the motivation, to write the scripts, and then also to collaborate and sync your schedule with somebody else is just really difficult. Like in the case of Tevat Historia, like YouTube's not his full-time job, and YouTube's not my full-time job either. So our schedules are completely dependent on not only when we have the time and energy and all that kind of stuff to actually make video content, but also whatever's going on in our real jobs. I shouldn't call them real jobs. YouTube is technically a real job. It's just that, you know, conventional jobs. How's that? So that's really hard. Like Island XD is a little bit easier because well, no, even then he was studying for like a really long time, and he was beholden to his. Oh my god, I hate these things. He was beholden to all of his study schedule. You know? And that's the case. Like Aster's in school, she's studying too. I'm not sure about Tevat Shinari. I think he does YouTube full time, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's just really hard to sync up like that. And we had talked about doing a podcast for a while that was being headed up by Tevat Historia. But he got so busy, and now he's trying to commit himself to doing one theory every week, which I think is crazy, and I really hope he doesn't burn out. But ooh, that's hard. Like I might put out 4 or 5 videos a month, but like I don't try to hold myself to a specific schedule because I know that if I do that, I'm gonna hurt myself in my brain.
Dodge this.
You know what I mean? And maybe it'll work for him, but because he's done that, come back here.
Wind strike.
It's a funny position to get stuck in. But because he's done that, it's very difficult for him to also find time to organize and work through a podcast, right? And one of us could do it, and we still might. But that seems to be like a recurring theme. Like every time we start to try and do something like a podcast or something like that, it's someone gets really busy or someone drops out or, you know, the idea fizzles out in favor of other things or, you know, something like that happens. We just haven't done it. But collaborations are actually really hard. In lore, anyway, for this kind of thing. It is quite hard. Jess, can we follow you on Instagram or other social media? You can follow me on Twitter. It's really my only other platform that I'm on. I'm not like the biggest social media person. I go on Twitter because there's lots of pretty art there, and so I tend to chill there more than anywhere else. I don't really post photos on Instagram. The last time I worked on my Instagram was for a project I was doing on a greenhouse. So unless you want to see pictures of just dogs and, you know, plants, I don't really recommend ever following me on Instagram. I update that like once a year. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Ashika. I'm really easy to find. I post little mini theories on there all the time. Some fun stuff. I post some fun stuff, and sometimes some weird facts of the day. And also sometimes I will post notifications about streams. So depending on how active you are on Twitter, you might find that useful. You know. That's it. There's a dude up there that I didn't know about that I don't want to fight. I'm lazy. Zax, probably false hopes, but what are your thoughts on the Electro four-armed Yaksha maybe being playable one day? I actually think that the playable Yaksha might end up being the Geo one. More than the Electro one. I think it's going to be a little unlikely for the Electro one to be playable. I think he might actually be dead. I think all of the original Yaksha might be dead, though. Even though it says, like, we've got a possibility that one of them's alive, we don't really have a strong possibility.
I miscalculated.
So, I don't know. I think it's slim. I think it'd be cool. Don't get me wrong, I'd love it, but I think it's a slim chance. What do you think is Kusanali's Ars Goetia name? Oh, I don't know. They could go with anything, really. They could really go with anything. That's what I don't particularly like about the Dendro Archon specifically.
Rain outlines your fate.
It's interesting though that the lesser gods, as I will call them, like Orobashi, have names that are very Ars Goetia sounding, right? Because Orobashi is like Orobas. Guizhang is like Guijin. Havria is like Havris, that kind of thing. Like those, it's interesting that their names are renditions, but then we have like A, who is this not lit? Oh my god. Really? But then we have like A, who's technically Balzable. Someone's nothing alike. And we've got Zhongli, who is Morax. So we've got Venti, which sounds nothing like Barbados. So like there's lots of little things like that that I don't quite follow. So I don't know which one Kusanali is. I'm gonna assume that she's more like a Venti or a Morax, but I don't know. I don't even know what her demon name would be. I feel like the worst explorer in the world right now because I'm finding all of these things that I feel like I should have found many, many, many versions ago. Damie, what do you think of all the NPCs from Sumeru only having pale skin? Do you think the playable cast will be more diverse? I hope the playable cast will be more diverse. I have more hope than I have faith, though. I'm concerned that there aren't more skin tones, especially with the Sumeru NPCs, just because of what they're supposed to be based off of. I'm not saying that there can't be pale people from the Persian Empire. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But like the fact that there's such little variety that they're all pale is just very concerning to me. And it's not hard to change skin tones on NPC models. It's just not. So I'm a little annoyed that that's something that's either not happening by choice or it's not happening by oversight. One of those two. And I don't like either of those answers at all. So, but well, I hope they're more diverse. I really, 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 really do. Wild Speaker, do you think we'll get any more story about with Chi-Chi? I thought she was very important for the chasm with Baizu. That was based on some leaks. And I would never trust most of the leaks that you see unless you actually like see image evidence. There's no evidence that those two are important for the chasm at all. Even in the upcoming patch, where I think we're gonna have another chasm-based update. Look at the places. Where are we on the map? So there is land down here. Look at it. Look at it. Do you guys think this is additional parts of Liwet, or do you guys think this is additional parts of, like, Sumeru? Like the borderlands? Because there's some islands over that way. See them? Wait, that might actually be Inazuma. Yeah, that's actually Inazuma. Never mind. Because there's the Sakura. Anyway, off we go, off we go, off we go, off we go. I think we'll get more stuff on Chi-Chi. We don't have a story quest for her yet. She, Kaching, and a few other characters do not have story quests. And I think that we'll get them eventually, and I think they'll come when they happen to be more story relevant. I think Chi-Chi will actually get a story quest when we get more Adepti lore. Because I do think she has some slightly deeper connections to the Adepti than just, how do we say? Just being revived by them. I think she might actually be one, but it's hard to prove. Other than her saying opening box of Adepti tricks. I mean, she does say that. So, I mean, you can make a case that because she says that, she's talking about her Adepti tricks, which would be weird because she's not an Adepti, but we'll see. She's technically dead, and she doesn't age. So she kind of fits the criteria better than Shenhe does. Since Shenhe is alive. We'll see. Break Fate's Chain. Do you have any theories about Pirro's homeland? I'm like 90% sure his homeland is Conria. Because you can read about him in the Pale Flame set. And it basically describes... I don't know why I'm doing this in here. I don't think I... Oops. Damn it. I didn't mean to do that. I hit the wrong button. Crap. I don't think I can even do that one in here. Let's just go to the archive. Wait, can you see it in the archive? I don't... Yeah, you should be able to. It's fine. Oh, this one. I'm pretty sure Pirro's from Conria, because of a lot of the stuff that's on this mask, which is about him, and the fact that his descriptions line up with the fall of Conria and a lot of the lore about it, and the timing for him showing up in Shnesnaya and all that kind of stuff also lines up with it. If he's not, I'll be surprised. I'll put it that way. When do I think Timmy will be playable? Sorry, buddy. Maybe in 9.0. Maybe in 9.0. Harm, do you think they'll make a character for everyone in the Ars Goetia in one form or another? Yes, I do. I do think they'll do that. Even if they're never playable and we never see them, I think they will be mentioned as gods. I 100% do. Yep. I think that'll be a thing. I am so far behind. Like, holy shit. Oh, wait, I'm not actually that far behind. Oh, this is the first time I've actually been on top of things. In, like, a long time. I get so far behind so fast. Chirpa 13. On the topic of Ars Goetia, do you think anything... there's anything meaningful to Amy and Oz having the names they do? Fischl is so weird. Like, how do I articulate this idea? This is like such a complicated thing. Okay, so if you've read Flowers for Princess Fischl, you'll know a little bit about Fischl, not the character, but the real one, not the one that we can play in game, not Amy. That Fischl to me, in a lot of ways, reminds me of like the Pale Princess, and also of the Seelie that married a traveler from afar. They're just very reminiscent of each other for reasons that I can't explain. So what I think is happening with Fischl is I think that she might be possessed in some ways by an actual demon god, which will make her something like that. I don't know how to articulate my thoughts on this at all. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't think she's actually one now, but I think that because I feel like she's possessed by something, at least a little bit, or she's kind of like manifesting her possession, which sounds even weirder. That it's very possible that she'll become the real Fischl at some point. And I think that the real Fischl's name might have been, like, demon name may have been Amy. That could have been a thing. Or it could just be a really bad translation and a coincidence. That's a possibility. I haven't looked into it that much because she's very low on my priority list. I just haven't. I suppose I should, though. Should at some point. I just think she has some real connections to the real Princess Fischl, who I think was actually really important. If I'm gonna farm ore, I should really, like, do the responsible thing here and make this easier on everyone involved, especially me. Rock God, chase me some rocks. Smack, what are your thoughts on Timmy being the secret god of pigeons? Listen, anything's possible. Anyone can be a god of something if you're being worshipped. That's how saints were made. I know saints aren't actually gods, but like when you think about it, it's like as close as a human can get to being a god without actually being born one. I found a thing. Zelk, since we already know a statue of the Seven was stolen from Mondstadt, do you think it might have major effects on that specific area, like that weird ley line disorders we might see later? No. I don't think so. Mostly because the statue of Seven that we saw that was stolen, I think was stolen from like around here-ish. Because of this thing over here. There's a couple of these, actually. But I don't know, this one is like the really suspicious one to me because there's a time tunnel up there. You see him? See the time tunnel? That one makes me think that this spot is more suspicious than the other spots, even though this spot just goes to the Spiral Abyss. This looks like a podium that could have had a... Oh, I don't actually want to go up to the time tunnel. This looks like something that could have had a statue of a 7 on it. And so I think it might have been stolen from here. And there's no weird ley line disorders here. There's just a lot of wind. But there's no ley line disorders at any of the places where that could have been stolen from. So I don't know. When do you think more generally than Timmy, little boys will be playable or other new body types? I feel like they're really reluctant to make more body types. I think it's okay for Genshin for now. I think this is fine. It's not ideal. I'd love to see more body types. I would have loved to see unique body types for honestly every character. With much more varying heights and builds and everything else. But I don't know. It's weird to me because like the Genshin playable characters aren't technically all based off of one model. So it feels really weird when they're all so similar in the end. I just wanted to see if anything would happen if I if I burned the things. Yeah. I don't think we will. Hey, look, a chest.
If it's useful, I'll take it.
Yeah, mood. It's good to see that in other games from MiHoYo, like the ones that have come out after Genshin, or like the ones that are currently in development, there's a lot more variety in body type. That is something I really like. But to me, that also says that they probably don't have a whole lot of intention of including more body types in Genshin. But they do know that it's something that people want, so they're including it in their other games. Genshin has a lifespan, I think, about like another 4 years. I'll give Genshin like another 4 years. And then I think it'll come to like a natural conclusion. And a lot of people disagree with me on this because like gacha games are meant to run forever. And sure, but I feel like for a game like Genshin, it makes more sense to give it a hard end date. And the reason I say that is because at the point where about 5 years from now, the technology that was used to build this game, the engine that was used to build it, is going to be really outdated. And you're going to need to like overhaul a lot of stuff. And when it comes to a system that's this advanced with this much open world and everything else, that's a monumental task. And I don't think any development team wants to do that, even if they have the resources to, you know? And because MiHoYo has such a strong creative team, I feel like they're better off creating a lot more of these smaller games that don't last as long as some games do, like some gacha games do. And giving them soft end dates. I feel like they're much better off doing that, especially because they're so heavily plot driven. So I don't think we're going to get new body types because I don't think they have any intention of extending Genshin to that in that way. But I think that in other MiHoYo games, as we've already seen, we're gonna get a lot more. We're gonna be getting a lot more body types, more variety, a lot more variety, and I like that. I think that's good. So they are listening. It's just that they're not applying it in Genshin. They're applying it in their other games, which is, again, like a really weird way to go about it. But you can kind of get a sense of where the dev's head's at least. Ren. Liban mentioned some weird people showed up in Sumeru. Who do you think he was talking about? I personally think it might be a completely different group from the Fatui or the Abyss Order. I haven't talked... oh, no, Liban. Oh, I don't remember. I have to go back and read it. I don't want to give you a weird opinion because I don't remember exactly what he said. Because I was working on other things at the time. I'll get back to you on it. I know I took notes for his thing. I just don't remember what they said. Whatever he was talking about, though, I know I'm going to be including it in my Sumeru Speculation Part 2 video. So I just hold tight. That's going to be out in the next couple weeks. I've got 2 videos to put out first. And then I'm doing that one. Kyle, do you think the Dendro Archon is going to look like a Honkai character? If so, which one? This is, again, like a really contentious thing. I've thought a lot about this. I still think Mobius is such a good candidate for the Dendro Archon. But my other 2 candidates are both Bronya and Teresa from Honkai. If I had to pick them, and I know Mobius isn't a Hersher, and that's kind of like their thing. They're trying to get like mostly Hershers in here and everything. But I'm still really suspicious of the whole Mobius thing. Like, I still think, like, a character related to her is going to be relevant in Sumeru. But while Teresa's cross motifs are very and they don't really work well at all for Sumeru, her chain motifs work pretty well for Sumeru. Which is one of the reasons why I think it could possibly be her. Beyond that, Bronya makes the most sense because she's pretty brainy. And that might be like one of the only reasons. Also because, you know, she's a young girl character. And I think that would work for them. But Bronya would work so much better as a Tsaritsa. So it's mixed. I have mixed feelings. My hope is that it's Mobius. My expectation is that it's going to be Tsaritsa, and I hope, or Teresa, and I just really hope that they remove all her cross symbolism. If they do that. Because it's just, I don't know. It'd just be weird. Ash Greninja, do you think Scaramouche will meet Mona again, and is Kazuha gonna kill him? Dude, wait like 2 days and I'll answer this. That's what the next video is on. That's what the next video is on, so don't worry about it. We'll talk about it in depth for like 20 minutes. Yeah, we'll talk about it. I'm gonna be finishing up questions here really quick. Because it's getting quite late and I am out of things to do. Oh, we should do the thing in the thing, though. Maybe I'll record it off stream. Wild Speaker, what do you think of that T-Town in Liyue that we've only heard of like 2 times? Is it connected to Sumeru or more to Mondstadt? I think it's like... If I had to guess, I think it's over here. Like, somewhere in this section. Ish. That's where I think it is. Jess, have you ever thought about doing voice acting? You have a really unique and great voice. Well, thank you. I will take that compliment and I'll put it in my back pocket for later when I'm feeling bad about myself. I'm kidding. I won't do that. That'd be weird. I think voice acting would be fun, but the thing is, I feel like, especially in any creative field, it's really important to be really passionate about whatever it is that you're doing, especially in creative stuff. And I'm not particularly passionate about voice acting, even if I may or may not be good at it. Like, I feel like it's not fair to people who really, really love voice acting and want to pursue it as a career, for me to throw my hat into the ring. Because on the off chance that I succeed, I don't know that I'll be as gracious about it as someone else who really wants it. And I feel like someone who really wants it should have it. If the opportunity happens to fall into my lap, then sure, I'll pursue it because it's there. But I don't think it's something that I'd go out of my way to pursue. For those reasons. Maybe that's kind of weird rationale, I don't know. But that is how I think. Jess, do you look at leaks? Recently there were some audio files found that have Venti talking about the Archons we haven't met yet. Those are from, like, CBT 1, I think. I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock into those just because they are that old and who knows how many times they've overhauled the thing. I do end up looking at some leaks. I didn't used to look at many because it was really, really, really easy to get spoiled on plot points, and that was just not fun for me. Like, I just hated when that would happen. But a lot of the leaking community, if you can call it that, has opted to not disclose any big quest information or anything like that. And for that reason, the only thing that ends up being in leaked content is like a character's kit and their temporary modifiers and stuff like that. And so a lot of that is a lot less consequential, I feel like. So I do look at those. If they happen to come my way, anyway. And it doesn't really feel like it's that much cheating anymore, just because, like, MiHoYo already tells us who we're getting in the next patch anyway, so we already know. And if we know, like, a temporary kit, then we know a temporary kit. We got, like, a 6-week preview on it. But it's not like we know any of the really important stuff. So I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on a lot of that kind of stuff. I have mixed opinions on leaks in general, but I think in this particular case, some of them are a little bit harmless. Some of them can do a little bit of harm, like with Raiden, because people expected her ult to work with Beto, and then it didn't. But that just goes to show that you shouldn't put a whole lot of stock in those leaks to begin with. You know, because they can change anything last minute. Like, Ganyu's multipliers were changed last minute. She got such a huge last minute buff to everything in her kit. She was such a snooze before then. And now she's like one of the most overpowered units in the game. So it's like... Blue Rain, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Lunara is streaming. What about Alicia? For the Dendro Archon? I don't think so. I still think Alicia is more of an Alice character. She feels so much more like an Alice character. I don't feel like she's going to be an Archon, like, at all. We'll see. Yuzora, do you know Honkai Impact and Genshin Impact are in the same world? I'll assume you mean, do I know if Honkai Impact and Genshin Impact are in the same world? That answer is complicated. I've made one video on it. I'm gonna make another. The short answer is yes, but that was never really the question. Even the devs have said straight up that these two things are connected. It's just a matter of how and to what degree, right? And that's the part that's always up for debate. So, always of varying opinions. I don't know why I do that. They never give anything. Captain Danger, what's up with Chongyun's eyes? I don't know. They're like anyone else's eyes. They're unique. Moonspine, do I have any career experience? Like in what context? I have a lot of career experiences. I've been running my own company for what is this, like my 8th year? Yeah. My 8th year, I think. And yeah, prior to that, I've held quite a few jobs. I've been everything from a bookkeeper to an electrician's assistant to a baking assistant to a farmer to a barista. I've done quite a bit. Quite a bit. I even threw hay for a while. That was fun. How do you think Bennett is related to Einstein? I don't know that he is. We'll see.
So dark.
Sicker, do you think Epona could be one of the moon goddesses that's still alive in Honkai but dead in Genshin? Epona is not alive in Honkai. She's been dead for 50,000 years. Just FYI. So it'd have to be the other way around. And no, I don't think Epona has anything to do with the Moon Sisters in Genshin. I really don't. The more we learn about her, the less I think she has anything to do with them. I gotta like move my body. We gotta move our body. I wish I could do that. Like just woo really fast. Just woo. Just woo. Just do a little woo. I want to move like that. Shoo, 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 shoo. Yeah. I want to be fast. Sorry. I had a moment. I had a moment, all right? I need to do this thing. There's one more question and then I'm done with questions. I'm going to do this really quick little Spices event and then I'm going to head out. Naui, something I have noticed is that Mondstadt doesn't have supernatural beings like the yokais or adepti from Inazuma or Liwa. Do you think we are going to get some in the future? I don't know. I do think it's weird. But in all honesty, I think Mondstadt has so many connections to Conria that it probably doesn't need any other deities. I think that's probably part of it. I really think that Mondstadt is supposed to represent the next iteration of Conrian ideals. But still in the restricted format of Tefat. So I don't think they're going to get one, necessarily. We do have the Catsline, though. Or the Catsline? Catsline, that one. Yeah. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. I'm done. Oh. Shade of the Night would like a bless with gene summoning power. Well, here you go. Mwah, mwah. Take a gene. I got one on Xiao's banner. You may have my gene luck because I don't want it. I think I have her at C2 now. I bless you with all the genes you want. May you get 3 of her back to back on the standard banner. Yeah, I got C2. All right. I'm gonna do the thing where I do this thing where I click this button and then I talk to a person. Clicky, 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 clicky. Do. I remember someone saying that Nazafarine is actually a Persian name. Blanket on a cold day or a gift of charcoal in the rain. Okay. Gift of charcoal amidst the snow. That's a new one for me. Do. She speaks really weird. Arvana. seasoning that brings happiness to people. Okay. Looks like they're trying to make MSG. Okay. Oh, she's one of those characters that talks forever and says so very little. It's such a mixed bag. Sometimes characters will talk a very small amount and say a lot, and then sometimes they'll talk a lot and say a lot, and then they'll talk a lot and say very little. She's one of the latter. I hate these kinds of characters. I really, really, really do. Why did we not just take her to Xiangling? Okay. Well, that was pointless. Don't you taunt me with a Kaya. You know I can't put him in my teapot right now. I'm so upset. Oh, she has more stuff. Okay, so she speaks like someone from Fontaine. That's great. I'm going to hate Fontaine. Okay. She still didn't say a whole lot. Okay. No, I haven't started the event yet. Why would I have started the event? I haven't played in like 2 days. Well, I did my commissions. Okay. Wait, what am I doing? I didn't read the instructions. Oh. Okay. Hang on. Let me read the instructions again. Slider will move back and forth from edge to edge. Follow the instructions given on the recipe and press the buttons as the needle points to the corresponding ingredient to add them to the pot. Okay. Number of press attempts you can make will be decreased by 1 each time. Order the seasoning and makeup attempt will be okay. Okay. So, did we do it or no? Oh, it goes back and forth. Okay. I see. Wait. Am I supposed to do it in a specific order? I think I'm supposed to do it in a specific order. It's supposed to be like mint, pepper, horsetail, right? So mint, pepper, horsetail. There it goes. Maybe? Reward prerequisites met. Okay. Great. Okay. Okay, so I succeeded in making recipe 1. Invite characters to taste test 21 times. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, so it is supposed to be 1 star. And there is no specific order. You're just supposed to hit the thing. I guess. Gotcha. Okay. Well, that was something. I mean, I gotta hand it to them. They do a lot of different things. They try a lot of things. I can't guess which food which characters will like. I've only got 2 characters in my teapot. So, like, I can't really even, like, guess a whole bunch. I've gotta, like... Oh, wait, what am I doing at Tubby? I don't need to be a Tubby. I need to be... I should have just stayed down here. Yep, maintenance is pain. Maintenance is pain. Like, I get why they delayed the event, and I think it was good to delay the event, and I guess I get why they decided to do it now, but, like, I've got 3 characters in here, and that's it.
Hello. Looking.
Let's give him meat.
Smells good. Also, tastes good. I like it.
Great. Fantastic. Have fun, Razor.
Ah, it is you, the wayfarer of a world
No.
thou wish
No.
to present.
No. Even during Unreconciled Stars, I couldn't listen to your whole lines. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Official's next, but whatever.
The beast of the world. One must first rise above mundane desires, thus weaving the path that leads to destiny.
What does that mean?
And yet, on this occasion, you appear to have eaten your fill, main Fräulein.
No, I don't. I'm not talking to you.
I gotta say, I'd love to watch Silence try and wrap his head around this, teapot of yours.
Why are you a teen model, Aloy? Why are you not an adult model? I can't give her things?
Good morning.
Oh,
The coast looks...
well, that's stupid.
Hello. Looking.
That's stupid. I mean, I guess I get why, but I guess we have to give everything to Razor. We just give everything to Razor. Why? Who's next? Oh, no, we're done with Razor. Great, I'm done with everyone now. Fantastic. Well, I'm not done with Aloy. I guess she's still earning. That's fine.
This realm is truly beginning to
Do I have other realms? I have one other realm, but I don't know that there's any characters in there. I don't think there's anyone in this one. We can look. Oh, yeah, I have a bunch, but I think all of them are maxed. And I can't place a teleport waypoint. So I'm gonna have to walk all the way over there. I'm pretty sure every single one of those is maxed. Yeah, every single one of those is maxed, so that's pointless. Hubby, what about my other 2?
truly.
I don't think there's anyone here either. Because I think this one I was just using to get the Primo Gems. Yeah, no one's on this one. Unless I put them inside. I did not. Okay, so for teapots, you can have 4 realms completely built, and it'll remember all 4 realm layouts, but you can only use one at a time. That's how that works.
This realm is truly beginning to thrive.
Alright, I've got one more, but I don't think there's anything over here either. I don't think there's anyone in this one. No, there's no one in this one. This is the one that I want to build out, but I haven't been able to yet. I wanted to do it on stream at one point, but I can't. Like, there's no one in here.
This realm.
Yeah. There's literally no one in here. Yep. So, that's it.
If you ever have
Oh, wait. No, Tubby, come back. Come back, come back, come back.
This realm is truly begin.
Yeah, I mean, though, I've checked the inside of the house. There's no one in there. I mean, we could check inside floating abode. I think you can get 40 gems total for placing characters stuff, I think. Oh, I just have like a bunch of random stuff in here. I was working on something and then I didn't finish the something. Yeah. There's nothing in here. I don't know why I went in the house. I could have just checked with Tubby. I have not decorated the inside.
This realm is.
Yeah, nope. That's it. That's all we got. There's no one. There is no one. Well, Aloy's at 9. And I can't even give her food.
If you ever.
I mean, at least I can go see some other reactions. That's cool. At least. I can unlock these. That's something. That's fun. Well. Well. Well, that's all we have. That's all I got. That's all I got today, guys. That's all I have in me. It's been a while. Traveler knows where their sibling is. They just can't convince their sibling to go home with them. We already found them. That's why we haven't been, like, focused on the sibling lately, is because we've already found our sibling. We know they're okay. We know roughly where they are. We just, can't convince them to go home. So, yeah. Let me sit. There. Xiao deserves a break. Yep. All right. I am gonna bounce. I'm hoping to get my video out on Monday, because I don't think I'm gonna have it out tomorrow. And I have a schedule of the next videos coming out on my YouTube community posts if you guys are interested in seeing that. Just how come I don't show myself in any videos? Why? I mean, does it really make a difference if you can see me talking versus just me talking? I mean, there's that. Also, there's I want to do things with my face after YouTube. So, I'd rather not use it here. But yeah, anyway, guys, thanks so much for showing up. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for chilling. I appreciate it. It's always fun to play games a little bit when you're not by yourself. Sometimes I like to play games by myself. But sometimes I like to hang with you guys. So thanks for being here. I'm gonna go. I realize that is clipped really badly into that rock. That sucks. But yeah. Good luck, guys. I hope you guys have other games to play. Hope you guys are having fun, and I hope you're looking forward to 2.7 whenever it happens, because it's gonna happen. Okay, it's gonna. Absolutely. All right, I'm going. I'm gone. Okay. I don't have anything else to say. I don't have a clever sign off. I don't have any like fancy ending screens. I'm just gonna say bye and then like bounce in the most awkward moment.